Okay, let's see if this works. I think we got audio now. Holy crap. Too funny. Um, I've been, it's just been a weekend. I was away last week. I apologize. And then it's been a hectic week. Got to turn it on. I know. It's been a hectic week. Two or three of my cameras aren't working for some reason. This one, fortunately, is working. My little guy over here is working. This little guy you're all familiar with. My bench camera, this is working. My other little camera's not working. My overhead camera's not working. This guy's working okay. Anyways, I'm having technical difficulties, but that wasn't going to stop me from coming on tonight. This little girl is so infuriating and frustrating right now. I think I'm not able to do anything because the poke probe that I have in this is extremely, that's even putting it mildly, but it's very unreliable. It's one day it'll work rather decently. The next day I can't get it to do anything. I think what I'm going to need to do, my XY homing is fine. That's sensorless. I think what I'm going to need to do for my Z and for my Z offs, etc., is that can't handle the withdraws. Yeah, right. I think I'm going to have to go back to the old standard, unless I can think of something else. I was racking my brain whether I want to try and put a beacon probe on this. Yeah, she is. She's not probing. She's doing something. Or going back to the standard little switch for the Z, if I can figure out where it goes on this particular TriZero configuration, going back to an actual physical end stop for Z so that I can at least get Z to work. You want to try the Evo 3D PZ probe on your V0 too. I'm open to any suggestions for getting this thing probing and working. I've got it turned on right now, and I tried a few over the last couple of weeks. I've come home in the evenings after my day job. I've tried a few different things, and more often than not, it's the probing errors that are giving me the most frustration. So I'm happy with the build. I mean, I can always clean up electronics. The back's a bit of a mess, not a big deal. All this can be cleaned up, but it's all for naught if I can't get the probe to work in order to get the printing to work. So I need to come up with a solution for the probe. So why did I come on stream tonight? Because I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what I want to do with DWIT 3D Canada moving forward. Am I done building? Do I want to build anymore? I'm not doing anything different than some of these other channels do with their builds. You have Steve Builds. He's always building something new, as is the Canuck creator, formerly Nero 3D. And those guys are doing a lot of different builds. They get a lot of things sent to them for the builds. I'm kind of just working on what I have had sent in the past and improving upon it. I'm going to be working a little bit. Whether I do it live or not is a question in my mind. I'm going to be doing a new hot end for my Voron 2.4. I want to do a new hot end. I want to do some new belt tension adjusters on it. There's a few things I want to do. I still want to take my old little 0.1 that's sitting over here and use the 0.2 kit I have and bring it up to a 0.2 kit. But my question is, do I want to do all those things live? This has kind of caused me to pause what I think I might want to do live, or do I want to get more into the printing and various projects that I have and I want to work on? Do I want to get into working with my new laser a bit more? We have a X-Tool S1, beautiful machine. That's got a lot of potential to do with my channel, which my channel is about 3D, but my channel is also about making. So I know there's people out there that are interested in lasers. This is a 40-watt laser. This thing will do some pretty cool stuff. You want to do a droid build. You want me to do a droid build live? Wow. A droid build? Which one? The droids I have, I've had them around for a while. They're old. This guy is my favorite droid I've built. He is pretty rustic, and he is pretty heavy. But this was the drink droid that we built, one of Michael Badley's models. This guy does everything from serving cans of pop to steering his thing to turning his head. He actually is. I believe he does still have batteries in him. Let's see. Oh yeah, the batteries are still in him, and he's live. But I don't know which one of my remote controls I have that controls this guy, because I'm bad. I've left the batteries in them, and you're not supposed to leave these kind of batteries in these things. This is a lot bigger than you thought it was. Oh, okay. You guys have probably never seen this run. Let me see if I have. If the remote should still be programmed for him, because last time I had this guy out and running was at a maker show, a maker fair, in 2023. So I'm actually surprised the battery hasn't killed itself yet. Hey, Lee Marie 3D, doing great up here in Canada. How are you doing? Good to see you on here. Thank you. Yeah, we have this one. We have the other guy up here, which really does. This guy doesn't do much. He wheels around. He lights up. His head turns around, and he doesn't make any noise. Andrew Humphrey, thank you so much. Barbie technically is extremely non-standard. It gets convoluted. Don't let it bring you down. We enjoy it. Thank you so much, Andrew Humphrey. I appreciate that. And that gets you one of these. Super chat. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. I'm not going to give up. I just want to decide. It has deflated me a little bit because I thought I'd have it printing by now. I thought for sure that poke probe would work, but I think because of the nature of the probe and how it's printed, when you heat up the hot end and you cool down the hot end, and you have that plastic that's not far away from the hot end, even though it's ABS, it still affects the temperature and thermal plasticity. I just made that word up. It's probably not a word. It affects the thermal plasticity of that, and it probes differently when it's cold than when it's hot. So of course, when you're putting the probe on the printer and adjusting the settings of the probe, you're doing it cold because you have to have it off the printer to adjust it. Then when you heat that nozzle up, and if you get any heat up into that little probe thing, which adjusts the thermal elasticity, I like that word, of the plastic that's using that, and it's going to change. So I don't think that that is the right probe for me. So I think I could, it wouldn't be too hard to even just get into Fusion 360, take this little hot end and put a little bit of a mount on the side of it for the beacon probe. The problem with a beacon probe is that I might lose a little bit of build volume on the bed, but it's not a big deal. If it's not a word, let's make it one. Thermal plasticity or thermal elasticity. We'll make up a word. Why not? Let me go grab a remote, see if this guy is actually working so I can show you what it does. Where did I put the remotes for this guy? Let's see. There they are. Okay, here's one of these two. There's one for each droid, and then I got a couple other ones in the box. So it's going to be one of these two remotes. These should still have batteries in them working. Let's just see if it's been so long since I've used these things. Do I even remember how? Power the remote on. Place all switches in their up position and throttles in their lower position. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So is this controlling this thing? No, it's not. Okay, so let's turn this one off. I got to be careful because this thing is going to move fast. It moves pretty quick. Let's try the thermal antiquity, aged plastic. Up position and down. No, none of these seem to want to make this work. Maybe I haven't connected to it yet. Anyways, this thing, he's pretty cool. I'll get him working for next stream, and I'll show him off to you guys. But obviously, he moves around. His hands steer the vehicle, and then the can cover opens up, and he lifts up some cans for you. This guy it's been a while since I've run him. I'm just, maybe, I know what I might have done. No. No, I probably have to repair these to this guy, or there's something underneath that I haven't done on them. But yeah, but I'll try and get them working for the next stream, for the next live stream. But it's quite complicated too, because under the seat is all the electronics with the battery and all the wiring and the speed controllers and everything. And then the seat goes down and you hide all that stuff. But this guy's pretty cool. I like him. I haven't given him a name yet. I attempted to paint him to make him look rustic, like he's been in battle and old and everything. So that was a fun build. This was a really fun build. This is like from 4 years ago or something. So, oh yeah, the controller had batteries, James. This guy, the batteries are working on this one. Now it's possible. It's quite. Oh, maybe I don't think I had this turned on. Hang on a sec. Oh yeah, this switch was off, so maybe. Perfect. Oh yeah, for sure, Lee Marie 3D, I will do that. I'll get it working for sure for next week. I just have to remember, it might have been a different remote than these two even. Whoop, there we go. Ah, he's working now. Okay, hang on. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you just saw that. So in the back, whew, freaked me out when it started going there. Okay, your head. Don't turn your head around like that. Okay, let me turn. Whoa, let me see. He goes pretty quick. Whoa! Let's catch him. Let's not run off the bench. Let's not run off the bench. Okay, if I turn him around, turn around. The bench is a pretty small space. So you see in the back now, I can open the back. Whoops, I can open the back, and then I can pop up one can, pop up two cans, and can down, and close the back, and then you can go serve a drink. We said work it, not break it. I know. It's a small, he can go in circles pretty good. And then there's his can popper upper again, you can see. Then one can, two cans. These are empty cans, of course. He will do full cans. And then we close his lid. Just have to remember which switches do what. Because you actually have to open this lid first, because if you don't, your cans are going to force the two servos in there to. So see, it almost pops the cans out. Watch. Pop, pop. Yeah. Close, close, close. Do not. Oh! He just hit my. No, we're not starting in 5 minutes. Where is he? There we are. He hit my stream deck. So. Are the drinks still cold? Well, no, it's not a cooled chamber, unfortunately. And there have been, I think one of the people that built one of these modified it so that actually it was a 6-pack or something. So there's different things you could do with this, right? But this was one of my first. Whoa. Okay, we just hit the stream deck again. Hang on. There we go. I got to be careful when I'm rolling him. This is one of my first, not my first. We started small with some smaller models. I have them around the studio somewhere. We started with small, tiny droids. Worked our way up to a couple other ones, then worked our way up to Eggbot, this guy here. I don't think he's working. I think I got some wires messed up in his head, like I do in my own. And then worked up, and this was the last, or the largest one that that I built with the group of, there was a group of us that were doing these. And this was a challenge for me because I'd never done, stop moving your head. Do you not agree with what I'm saying here? Do you think I care? No, you're right, I don't care. But this was a challenge because I'd never ventured into the world of electronics, speed controllers, servos, all the stuff that's involved in this. I've never ventured into that world before. So I was kind of nervous. I was very new at it. At the time I did this, my 3D printers, I didn't have a lot of experience 3D printing. So a lot of this, hey, off axis, I haven't said hi to anybody. I got to go back and say hi to who's on stream because we kind of just sort of jump right into it. But a lot of the 3D printing portions of this are actually, it's not the best. If you take a close look at the of the parts that are 3D printed, they look actually kind of crappy, to be honest, for some of them, because I honestly didn't know what I was doing way back when we did this, but it worked. The base is printed in a few pieces because I didn't have a printer big enough to handle that, which unfortunately, because I got rid of my rat rig, I still don't. But there's different, this guy's head comes off. Oh, I just lost his bearings too. Oh, all his bearings fell out. But yeah, this guy's head comes off. There's a little servo in here to run his head. And I just lost his bearings for his head. So hang on. There we go. There's your little bearings. So there's a lot of printed pieces involved, a fair bit of assembly, but I love this. And yeah, I would love to actually build another one. Cookie jar, there you go. I'd actually love to build another one live on stream because that would involve the printing and the assembly. And that will be that'd be a really nice change for me from building printers, is actually building something that's made with the printers. There you go. I wish I had my overhead camera, but I'll show you the insides a little bit. I can actually use this camera. And I know we're drifting way off Barbie. We're going to fire her up and have a look at her after, but Barbie needs to take a break for now. 2 cans of beer and pop in the back. It does. Whoa, I just hit my button. His head turns right around indefinitely. But then he has to unwind it now too. No, he doesn't. I'm just kidding. I got rid of the rat rig, Dave. Yeah, I'm sorry. We have a few changes going on in our house, and I needed some space in the basement. And the home of the rat rig is now Maria's office. So the rat rig did go to a great home here in Calgary. I'm allowed to visit it anytime I want. The guys that bought it off me run a company that make props for production and movie production people. And really, really nice company, really big company, and impressive stuff that they do. They gave me a good dollar for what I was wanting for it, and they were really impressed with it. And they already had 4 other 500 millimeter rat rigs, so it's in a good home. And if ever I need a large print at a decent price, I am able to call them up and do that. So it's going to get better use at its new home. So let me go ahead and turn this camera. Hang on, here we go. There we go. So here is inside. Here's a close-up look at. I haven't named him yet. He's got 3 eyes, so I've got 4 eyes, so we're almost even that way. So we have the tracks. And his arms, of course, when we steer, the arms move. And I've got to be very careful I'm not. There, I just don't want to run him off the table. So if we look at his head, is pretty simple. I just lost his bearings again. His head is just simply a servo with a mounted gear here. And then there's some bearings that go in the hole that I just dropped 2 of the bearings you can see at the bottom there. And those are what kind of keep his head going. And then I'm going to actually power him off for now when I take this off. There we go. Just so he doesn't go flying forward. Then if I lift up, yeah, I know he's off. Here, I'll turn you off too. If I lift up the seat, there's kind of it's kind of a mess because you're fitting a lot into this little area. There's kind of all the electronics. He's running off a 5200 milliamp lithium LiPo battery. This is the transmitter, or the receiver, sorry, for the remote control. Down in here we have right under here. If I lift this up, that's a speed controller for the motor, and there is 2 of these in here, I believe. No, I think I'm controlling the motor off of 2 motors off 1 speed controller. Okay. Oh, Elliot, they would, Russ. I could upgrade this. So we got that, and then down here we have, of course, this is our 5 volt. I believe this is I don't remember. Hang on, let me turn that on and see. I'm terrible at the names, but this is that's what converts our power to 5 volts for the that's a buck converter, I believe it's called, for the sending the power to the receiver. And then of course we have our motor cables, and then we have our all our cables that are going in. And then underneath in the back, where you can't really see unless I take it right apart, there's servos. There's one servo that operates the lid for the cans, and then there's a servo each in the back that operates the popping the cans up. You can kind of see when I said my 3D printing was kind of terrible back then. You can see the layers on my bottom layers. I had some issues with my layer lines here and here. They weren't the prettiest 3D prints going, but hey, you know what? It worked and it was functional. And when I bring this to the Maker Faire, kids love to see this thing operate. So yeah, so this sort of just all tucks in here. You can tuck this stuff in nicer and by having longer wires, so when you take the top off. And then underneath this, let me put the camera down for a minute so I don't make you too dizzy. I'm just going to pop these bearings out so I don't lose them. There we go. Where's the other one? There we go. And then, of course, underneath here, we just have wires going into the base. And if I lift him up, which I don't think I can without taking all this apart, we, of course, have servos here for his arms and a servo here for his arms. They do nothing other than make it look like he's driving it. Just because the servos move, it has nothing to do with moving the motors. So, and then this just sits all back nicely like that. All the wires, the only wire really showing is this guy here for the servo on the cans, but I can actually almost hide that one completely. There we go. Just let me put his head back on. So maybe what I'll do, I've always wanted to build a second one of these. I really have. And I do have all the files still. Now they've probably updated the files a bit. So maybe what I'll do is I will look into maybe making another one of these. Maybe that's something I do because I want to get more into what you can do with the 3D printing. And I think this is very cool. And I think it would be cool maybe to make another one of these on my stream. What do you guys think? Would you guys, it's a $1.50 converter in the USA. That's funny. Would you guys want to see one of these built on stream? What do you think? On, and if I turn this on, switches up. Whoa, okay. Excuse me, cans. There, one more. For those of you who weren't here, open the back, pop the cans up. I think Jerry built one of these too. Jerry's not on there. You want to do it bigger, David, do you? I have the motors. I have pretty much everything I need to build one of these as far as motors and servos and speed controllers, wires. I don't think I have to buy anything. I would make it a Polymaker drink server because I would do it strictly out of Polymaker filament. So, okay, we'll schedule this. We'll schedule this probably maybe for October we'll do a fall build. So you have one with a different dome and MP3 player speaker inside. Oh, cool, Alpha. Cool. Marcel, do you? That is cool. Yeah, Marcel, you were part of the group when we built these too. I have some speakers. I have all sorts of things. So maybe I can tweak this up. I can maybe drill some holes in it. Lights. Maybe his eyes can light up because I have tons of. If you could just see what I had in the studio here as far as electronics, it would be so cool to do that. Come on, come to me. Whoa. And actually, let's power her down now. Let's power you down and put you away for now. I actually should take the battery out and discharge the batteries properly, but fortunately, I haven't had an issue with them yet. I actually have tracks printed already. So for the second one, which we could do more, but, oh, here, I'm going to bring these over and show you the other things I've started here. Because I had good plans to build more droids. I was going to build a speed racer droid, etc. So here, I'll show you the ones that I started with. I thought I'd put them away, but let's just do a little bit of show and tell here. So these are the ones that started the little droid build series. We have this little guy. They're not operational right now because I don't have the batteries or speed controllers or the the receivers in them. So it started with, I don't remember which one was first. I think it started with this guy. And all he does is head turns, goes up and down, Of course, we have him on 2 servos, and he goes back and forth, and he's run on these 2 tracks here. And you can kind of see underneath, all his electronics are kind of underneath in this little electronic box. And then I believe this guy was the second one in the series, and all he does is his head turns and he moves back and forth and turns. He doesn't do anything too exciting. And then we got into the this guy up here, which I think is Eggbot, and then we got into the drink droid. So those aside, and actually I would love to incorporate something on the laser. I could even incorporate the laser for incorporating some of the parts and so forth. And I can actually laser engrave on the 3D printed parts. So that may be something to think of. So in preparation for building more droids, I have a lot of track already set and built for these droids. And all this track is printed in TPU. And each individual piece on the track is printed. And then we take these little pins and we insert them to form a complete track. So I have enough track here to build another one of the droids. I have enough track if I build a bigger droid, so we could have a massively big track. So that might be something to consider. So, but yeah, I'll definitely, maybe in the fall, we'll do a fall series of building another one of these droids. I'd love to do that. It would be fun. It would be a nice. Sorry, Barbie, I love you, but it would be a nice change from building the printer and actually let's use the printer. And I think it would get me more views, to be honest. And not that I'm all about the views, I don't care, but it'd be nice to see the channel grow a little bit with the stuff I'm doing on it. So let's do that. Let's plan to do a droid in the fall. Why don't we say that? Everyone does printers. Brent, that's my thought exactly. All the other bigger channels, they get the printer sent to them, they build the printers, they build them, they do them. I'm not doing anything different. This one was a little bit different because there was a little bit more work involved because we did the big box and we did the TriZero at the same time. It took you 4 months, over 700 prints for a full-size R2. I'm not doing an R2. Oh, that's just a lot of work. It'd be cool. Full size. If I had the room, I may consider doing that, but I just don't have the room for a full size R2. I'd have to give it away or sell it after, or do something. Create a bill of materials so some of you could build along. Big and Bad Joe. That's a good idea. Maybe we do a build series like that. I'm going to go back onto Michael Badley's Discord, not Discord. His it's his, oh gosh, I'm having a brain fart here. Patreon. I'm going to go back onto Michael Badley's Patreon. I left his Patreon a while ago because I was not building any droids for a while. I may go back onto his Patreon, see what newer droids he has, what updates he has. And I do have, I'm pretty sure I still have the files for the drink droid, but those are files I cannot and will not share because you need to be a Patreon of his to download those files. And for me to hand those files out to somebody that wants to build along with me is not proper. So, but I will, I'll do some research into that, and I'll post next week. I'll post some links. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Anybody that wants to build along, and then I can also get the bill of materials for the motors, the speed controllers, and etc. that we need, and we can go from there. That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. He has some great updates on previous models, Marcel says. Okay, good. That's good to know. I will definitely look into that for sure. Did I increase my build area on Barbie, or is it still, it's still 120 by 120, Joseph, still the same size. So I never said hi to everybody that's on here, but that's okay. I won't go back and say hi because everybody knows everybody on here. So so I got Barbie fired up. I'm going to show you the frustrations I'm having with her. And then we'll talk about a few more things. But yeah, no, to print the parts on this droid on the bamboo printers now compared to, I believe, back when I printed them, they were being printed on, what was I printing them on? Creality Ender 3s, I think, or Ender 3 V2s, or the, they were printed on the old bed slinger printers anyways. So None of the parts were printed on any Core XY printers, so I'm excited to actually reprint all the parts for the droids and on better printers. So I'll be excited to do that. So all new new files. I'm excited. I'm going to definitely check him out this week, Marcel, for sure. Definitely. And I will become a Patreon again because he has some incredible models on there. Hey, Mark. Hello, all. Bot sounds fun. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll definitely do it. And I encourage anybody, as Big and Bad Joe said, create a bill of materials so people can build along. Yeah, I'd even be open to having people build along, and like we did before, having some people come on my stream with me, and we can show our progress, talk about our progress. If we have any issues or questions, I think that would be great. So, but we'll make more of a solid plan on the next live stream for that. So, but in the meantime, I would really, after all the work and frustration and accomplishments and trial and error that we've done on Barbie, I would really like to get her printing. But as I say, it's that probe, which is the issue. So I do have Barbie's interface open. Let me open up where's my clipper for Barbie? There we are. So I have Barbie clipper open right here, except my face is big in the way over here. Give me 1 second here. Let me move my face over to this side. Then we'll go back to here. There we go. So Barbie's open. She's on standby, so I can home it all, and all the homing and everything works. Where's this camera? Let me get this other camera going so you guys can have a close-up, and we'll show you what's going on with her. And then I'm going to take a serious look. I've just been too busy in the last couple of weeks. We, at my full-time gig, we had a staff member that was with us for 18 years has left. And so us two owners are trying to make things magically work on our own, and we're doing pretty good. But it means I'm putting a lot of time into the office, and it's going good. So I'm going to switch over to, now that I got this camera, where I got to switch that. That's number 3. There we go. And I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to do this before I switch it over. So let's go to this camera, and we'll cut to this one. There we go. So there's Barbie. Are you in focus, Barbie? You are in focus. Okay, good. So now I'm going to go ahead and home her. Okay, there's my window. So homing works fine, I believe. So my X and Y home just fine. They're sensorless homing. They home just fine. Now when it comes to Z, is it going to work? It did. So we home Z, no problem. Okay. When we get into do a Z tilt adjust, here we go. You watch. It's going to make me a liar, and it's going to work first time here. You watch. But we'll see. It is so inconsistent. Yeah, the box zero is good. But when you're doing a box zero and a TriZero with no real instructions and you're working off of CAD drawings, it was a challenge, but it was fun. Joseph Carver, it's never too late to start. My first build was a 0.1, and people told me that's the hardest build you can start with, but then it got into doing a few other ones, and it hasn't stopped since then. But I'm happy with the builds I've done. Building is great. It gives you the insight exactly how 3D printers work. But yeah, this is just going to go round and round and round. Because it's the readings are all over the place. And she's going to go round and round a few times, and then we're going to get failures. Yeah. And I don't want to go through this every time I start a print. I don't want to have to start a print 6 times before it gets to printing, only to come up with errors all the time. So it's definitely a probe issue. So let's see, are we going to actually come close here? We're at 388. Oh, we actually did manage to get a Z tilt adjust. Okay. Our Z tilt adjust range was 0.006. Oh, it's off screen here a little bit. It's 0.006. Oh, and our tolerance is 0.007. Okay, so, but what we'll do now, just for fun, we're going to start a print, but we're not going to put filament in it because why waste time? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to print this cube, but we're not going to put any filament in it. We're just going to print this cube and see what happens. Now, of course, Murphy's Law tells me that because I'm saying all this bad stuff and how I'm having issues with it, it's going to work, but we'll see. Big and Bad Joe, his name is Michael Badley. Let me find it for you. I'll post a link in chat here in a minute. I'll just find it. Let me just log into my Patreon. I'll oops, that's not the email for my Patreon. This is the email for my Patreon, and then I can look up his from there. Okay, let me find him. There he is. Okay, Michael Badley. He's all about droids. And I'm going to copy, and I'll paste his link in chat here to Michael Badley's Patreon. There you go. That'll take you to his Patreon page. And have a look at it. It's all about droids. 10,000 members he has. So here, I'll show everybody else here if you don't want to go there. Did that switch? There it is. Yeah. Oh, there it is there. Okay, here we go. I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry about that. Yeah, so there's his page right there. He's got 10,000 Patreons right now. There's the levels. It's not expensive, okay? You can get in as $1.50 a month, depending on what you want. $7.50 Canadian a month, which is what, about $2 US. And oh yeah, he has a Death Racer files, as Stephen Machado says. And he's got, as you see at the top of his page, he's all about the droids, and he's got a lot of files in here regarding the droids and so forth. So I haven't been on his site in a while because I kind of gave the droids a rest and I was focused on a lot of other things. But there's a lot of cool files. That one looks familiar, of course, right there. And as Marcel said, it looks like he's updated a lot of his stuff too. So yeah, and there's the drink droids, drinks and droids. Oh, drinks and droids. Oh, I see. That's an event that was at. So anyways, check it out. If you're interested in following along when I do the rebuild of the drink droid, check it out. Become a Patreon of his and enjoy what he has to share. Looks like he has another. Oh, pimp my support. Email your design ideas for custom. Oh, okay. So it looks like he has 4 levels of support there. Yeah. And I believe the tier that I was on was the dedicated supporters. I was on there for 6 or 7 months while we were doing the droid series. Actually, more like a year. I was probably on there for about a year. Anyways, yeah. So check him out. Those are not the droids you are looking for. No, no, the ones I want are in there. They're in his Patreon, but I have to. They're deeper down, I guess. Those are the bigger ones. LDO. Well, I know that if you follow Sam Prentice at all, there is a kit available now for, and I believe it is LDO coming out with a kit for the Death Racer. I'm going to build a Death Racer one day. And you've been a member since 2020. Awesome. Awesome, Marcel. Well, I think what Nick was meaning is the big ones aren't the one I'm looking for, but he does have the little guys in there as well. So they are available. So this is just warming up. Where am I at? My hot end. I'm just waiting for the bed to warm up on here. If this starts printing, mind you, I have no filament in it, so I'm not worried about flow, first layer, etc. But if this actually starts printing, I'm going to just scream because I could not get this thing to print for the life of me. You have Mr. Badley's printed droids patch from 2020 on your desk. Oh, cool. If I missed a question or a comment in the chat, just repeat it because I'm going through this pretty quick. So there we go. Yeah. I got a few other things to do. Live content is hard, in my opinion, depending on who you are and what channel you're doing. Live content is hard to it's hard to come up with live content and fresh live content every single week. So that's why I kind of want to change it up, and to do a build series like that, that's a great idea. That's a fabulous idea, and as Big and Bad Joe said, I never would have thought of that. Maybe having some people build along, so that's great. But we'll sort of get things lined up a little bit for that, and you know, if we do it week by week, you could do some quote unquote homework in between live streams, but there's no sense rushing anything either, right? The printing takes a while itself, and then getting the electronics and everything all together, and sometimes ordering the materials, ordering on the bill of materials, ordering some of the components is hard as well. The motors, the speed controllers, etc. I have to go through my inventory and see what I've got. Oh, cool, Marcel. If you would do that, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. That'd be a great winter project, I think, for sure. We'll start in the fall. I'm not like we're gonna start up next week, but we'll make a game plan as far as a start date. We'll see who wants to join in, who's gonna let's bring the boys back together. Exactly. That was fun. Oh, I was so glad that I was invited to be a part of that group as well back then. Okay, we are the bed is heated. We're heating the hot end now, and we're going to see what happens. We're going up to 220 on the hot end, and it's going to do its due diligence. But my guess is when it goes to do the Z-tilt adjust, it's going to fail. I should be a little more positive than that, but believe me, I've had experience with her. She's stubborn. She's very stubborn. But it's the poke probe. I guarantee it's the poke probe that's giving me all the issues. You can do what's on. You can do a what's on the bench weekly and just make something different. That's, hey, apprentice, that's great. That's what I want to be. I want my channel to be moving forward, not so much about builds anymore. As we said, everybody does that. I want it to be about what you can do, projects I've done, stuff I've designed in Fusion 360. I'm actually taking an online Fusion 360 course right now, and it's incredible stuff I've learned. It was a Kickstarter that I invested into, and the gentleman that's teaching it is formerly from Calgary, but now he's got his business in California, and he's teaching this course. And I've just the 3 or 4 little things that I didn't know, little tips that I didn't know, have made the course itself well worthwhile to me. So. Okay, see, now we have an error already, and this is another error that was coming up through the week sporadically. So I have a heater temperature exceeds config minimum temperature or max temperature. Once the idling issues, blah, blah, blah. So I'm having an issue with one of my thermistors now too, that was popping up this week. And that's another thing that's been happening on top of the sensor. So this one's not a huge deal. This one's easy to fix. It's either a loose wire or it is a configuration issue in my firmware. And the configuration is fine. If I go to my thermistors and look at the configuration for the thermistors, they're fine. So I may have a wire might have come loose, but it's just there's one thing after the other on this. There's my extruder, and there is minimum temp 0, maximum temperature 250. And then we have the bed heater, min temp 0, max temp 120. So we're not exceeding max, or we're not preceding minimums. I could bump my minimum temperatures up to 5 or 10, but that's not what's causing my error right now. So Maybe do a droid division droid build instead. Droid division droid build. I'd have to see what that is. Animatronic battle droid. Oh, okay, well, we'll pick one. We'll pick one. Doesn't have to be the drink droid. We should just pick a droid and do a droid build. Meantime, this issue again. I'm not giving up on Barbie, but I am definitely got to make some changes to her insides. Let me see if I can repeat that error. I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure that thermistor error is going to be a wire, because I've had this hot end apart so many times. On Etsy, he makes pit droids and battle droids. Cool. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, Big and Bad Joe. It's probably a loose wire, because I don't get that error every time. Usually what happens is it'll heat up, it'll get ready, it'll start to print. Well, it'll start to pre-print, and it'll do the Z-tilt adjust, and it'll fail on me again. But let me try this one more time and see if I get that temperature error. And if so, I'm going to have to take the hot end apart again and check all my thermistor, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. But I'm not giving up on her. I've come this far with this printer. I'm not giving up on it. I want this thing to print. So, but the first thing I've got to do is definitely come up with a different probe, which is not necessarily the easiest task on a hot end this size. So what do you mean by droid division droid? I'm just curious, Marcel. Is that just the name of one of his droids? Whoops. Okay, we're heating up the hot end again. We'll see what happens when this starts. See if this goes now, or if I'm going to get that same error. And if it's the same error, it's definitely going to be a loose wire, or my thermistor's loose in the hot end or something. Because all the wires going into the board look just fine. Yeah, same error. Let's see. Heater extruder not heating at expected rate. Set the see, now it's a different error. See? Heater extruder not heating at expected rate. Set the verify heater sections. See the verified heater section in docs config reference MD for the parameters that control this check. Once you see, that's yet another error. But I'm going to do one more thing here. Let's restart. Oh, okay. Oh, it's his store. Okay. Oh, I see. Etsy Droid Division. There we are. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to keep that page open and we'll have a look at that. No, that's not what I want to do. I'm trying to... Anyways, if I just heat up... Now, if I go ahead and just heat up the extruder... on its own. I'm going to heat up the extruder to 220 and see if I get an error at that. Okay, cool. I didn't realize he had an Etsy. It's been that long since I've followed him, so that's good to know. So okay, so we're heating up. We're going to heat it up to 220, and I tend not to get. I don't think that error is going to happen. It's going to settle in at 220. Yet when I try to make a print, I get that that error that shuts down the MCU. So let's see what happens here when this gets up to 220. And I have PID tuned the heater and the bed. So, and they PID tuned successfully as well. Do you have the right bed thermostat? Yeah, the bed's fine. It's the hot end that's giving me the issues there, Jexter. So, and I do have the proper hot. I actually bought a new thermistor for the hot end, the specific thermistor PT1. I think it's a PT100, and it is defined correctly. So here we are creeping up to our 220 hot end temperature, as you can see. And as we approach it, let's see if we get an error. Because if we settle in at 220 by just heating the hot end up, then my question is, why is it throwing an error when I heat it up and try to print? So there we are. We're at 220 without an error. And it's going to settle at 220. And obviously because I did the PID tuning, it's settling in quite nice there to maintain that temperature without an error. So so we're not getting an error when we just heat that up. Now, again, if I heat the bed up to 50, which is fine, I should be able to heat them both up, and I'm not going to throw an error of any kind. Why am I getting an error when I try to print? Did the hot end actually get hot? Well, there's filament oozing out of it, so yes. You just want me to touch it with my finger, don't you, to burn myself? No, but the hot end, yeah, the hot end is hot. I got a little bit of residual filament oozing, and okay, just because. Yeah, oh yeah, that is hot. The hot end is hot. Here we go. Okay, so our bed is settling. We're going to settle in at 50 for the bed. Hot end is settling in at 220. It's staying consistent. So now that we have these temperatures up, let's go ahead and there we are, 50 degrees on the bed right there. So let's go ahead just for the kicks, and we'll do this print again. Actually, okay, maybe it's the print. Let's do this one. Whatever. It doesn't matter what I print. Okay. See what happens here. Electro boom of 3D printing. Jiggle the wire. Oh no, there is no filament. It's just residual filament. It's just residual. Okay, well, oh, the bed's got it. So now we're not getting an error. You see, the bed is heating up to 55. Maybe there's something in the G code on that other print I was trying that was giving me an issue. Oh, and here we go. Now it's starting. Now it's going to start to try and attempt to print. Okay, so it could very well have been something in the G code of that other file. So we're gonna. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and do our Z tilt. This is where it always quits on me. Didn't you also print a Wall-E droid? No, I didn't, Marcel. No, I'd love to print Wall-E. He's cute. If this works, I'm going to scream. If this works, I'm going to throw some filament in and print. But are you going to give me a positive Z tilt adjust here? You are too. Now what are you doing? Now we got an error again. There we go. There's another error. Of course. The heater temperature exceeds its configured minimum temperature or maximum temperature. So the temperature, it got to, why did it go up to 240 degrees? Okay, so something happened there. Let's do this again. I want to watch this time instead of watching the better yet, let's stop. Let's stop this print. I'm going to investigate a little more here. Let me slice a new file. If that was trying to go up above 250 degrees for PLA, there's something definitely wrong either in the file or with my thermistor. So, but we know that the printer heated up and stayed maintained at 220. So I could have an issue possibly with my actual files. So we're going to stop. We'll clean that out. We'll get rid of these two files, and we'll slice another file. I want to delete you. How do I delete you? Cancel. Delete. Okay, so we'll get rid of the files that were already sliced. You'd vote for a Wall-E. Cool. Well, let's see if he has it on his... Somebody check on the Droid Division Etsy, see if he has a Wall-E available. And if he has the files available, then yeah, we could do that. But I digress. I tend to get sidetracked. Yes, that droid is obnoxious. 2 micro droids, 3 servo, small car style droid with small dome on top, baby R2, 40% scale, cheap droid, Bluetooth, follow me speaker, and a BR2U. The BR2U is the drink droid. Cool. That's a lot of droids. I don't have room for all them. Okay, I'm going to, while I do this, I just don't want this to cool down. I'm going to maintain 55 on the bed, and I'm going to bring the hot end. We're going to bring you up to, we'll bring you up to 210. So there's obviously an issue with the file because this is not, I'm telling it 210, it's going to heat up to 210. It's not going to exceed it. So I'm pretty sure my thermostat and everything is working fine in Clipper and on the printer. It had to be something with the file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open Bamboo Slicer. And let me go ahead and just find something. New release already. Okay, well, we'll worry about that new release soon. Previous unsaved projects. Do I want to restore it? Not really. Let's get rid of all this. Oh, and I just realized you guys can't see what I'm doing here, but that's okay. We're going to I'll pop this screen on in just a second here. Voron 0.1, 0.4 nozzle. Okay. I can't share this screen right away, or can I? Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can do this. Bear with me 1 second. If I move my StreamYard window over here, so you guys are seeing that, I'm just going to get a little funky and do this. Give me 1 second. Now, if I go ahead and I'm just going to try, because what happens is I can't, if I try and do anything on this monitor for some reason, which is my secondary monitor, nothing works. It's all wonky. On my main monitor, which is my big one here, everything's fine. So I'm going to try and share that main monitor with you. I have to open up this, and I have to, on my display, I have to make it my secondary display. So let me go ahead and change this display to this one. Okay, let's see if this will work. Okay, so did that work? Oh, it kind of worked, but it's really big, isn't it? It kind of worked, but it's very big. Okay, let's see if I can, holy cow. It's That's what I get for having a 54-inch display here. This will kind of give you an idea of anyways what I'm doing. So basically I got my Voron 0.1. I'm going to go to the device tab and I'm going to, why are you doing this? I know what I got to do here. Stop. You're being a pain. It is, no, cancel, connect. It is 10.0.0.89. Let's test to be sure. Tab. So that is right. So if I go, okay, this should be, there we are. Okay, there we are. There's Barbie in there. Okay, so now let's prepare. Let's find me a file. It doesn't matter what. I don't care which one. What's this? Yeah, I don't care. Just that's a power inlet. Doesn't matter. That's power inlet for the Barbie build. So I know you guys are having, I can't, it's big. So we're just going to create that. We're going to go just do something really quick here. I just want to see if it pushes 3 walls, 4 and 3, that's fine. 15% grid infill, that's fine. I don't care. The filament we're using, I've got to get rid of one of them. Generic PLA, that's fine, even though it's, I can go ahead and switch that if I want, but it doesn't matter. But the key thing is what are my settings for my filament? Okay, initial layer 220. Let's bring that down to 210. Other layers 210, and we'll just do 55 on the bed just to, because that's what I've got to heat up to now. And 55, where everything else is going to be fine. We're just doing a quick little thing here. Okay, we have it on the middle of our build plate. That's fine. We have the 0 selected, so we know what size it is. It looks like a massive print because it's a tiny bed. We will slice the plate. Okay, it's a 1 hour, 2 minute print, doesn't matter. And then we're going to go ahead and export the G-code file. And if I go back over to the device here, the file should show up here. Oh, no, sorry. I actually had to go export G-code file. I actually had to do that. No, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. Sorry, I want to print, but I want to print and I want to actually upload. Now, if we go back to the device, the file should show up right there. There we go. So we'll click that and we will go print. Okay, now we'll come back to this. Now that we've got that going, and let's see what happens here. And I have, as I suspected, let's see, verify heater. So we have that same error. Heater extruder not heating at expected rate. See the verify heater section in docs config reference MD for the parameters that control the check. Oh, so there's that going on again here too. So see what I mean? It's there's a lot of stuff going on here. Let me bring this back over here. Let's come back to reality here. There we go. It's got to be something loose or something in the thermistor. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Build it. Hey, Kermit. Hello. That's what I'm thinking. There's something in there, and I've got to go through and take that apart again. As I say, I've taken this thing apart so much to adjust the poke probe, which seems to be working now. Of course, now that the poke probe's working, there's something else that doesn't want me to get this thing going. So, but what the heck? We've got nothing on the go. So let's go ahead and take that hot end apart. But I'm just going to quickly switch over this display again back to my other display, and we'll go, okay, there we go, and ka-cha-boom. And we'll go back to this camera here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna let that cool down a bit. And I kind of have no choice but to take this thing apart and check my connections, which should be fine, but what the heck, but it's easy to take apart. But I just want this to cool down below to around 50. before I go ahead and do that. So what I'll do is I'll just get ready. We'll just unplug some of these wires, and we'll take this apart real quick. And I can't wait till we start a droid build because, yeah. Yeah, I never use the zeros much either. When you think about it though, Kermit, you think about it though, I have right here, I have a A1 Mini. It's just, you get to a point where you have too many printers, and unless you're running a job where you got to get all printers on board, for me, the Vorons are hobby printers, especially the zeros. You have PT1000 and extruder config. I think, let me check. It is a PT1000 thermistor. Let me check and see what I got here. Let's go ahead and share this. Where's my hot end? I know where my hot extruder. Yeah, right there. Sensor type is PT1000, which I believe is what it should be, because it is a PT1000 thermistor. Correct? Correct? No? Maybe? Because I remember the thermistor, I had an unknown no-name thermistor, and I was getting error after error after error with it. So I said, oh, the heck with it. So I went to my local buddy at 3D Lab Tech, and I bought a PT1000 thermistor. And then everything's fine. Thing is, I can heat the hot end up fine without telling it to print, and it heats up fine and it stays there fine. So Bamboo Makers World has a free function Wally build and an Eve LED. You can download files for free. Oh, interesting. That's good to know, Russ. Okay, we're cooled down on this. I'm just going to shut her down. Okay. We'll shut down the power, off, plug out, safety first, and then we will proceed to unhook all of my hot end connections. There we go. And we will unhook the poke probe. Oops. Let me just cut this wire. It'll be easier to get all these wires out of here. Cut this zip tie. There we go. Okay, and there's Mr. Pokey Proby. Okay, and I need blue. So we'll pop the hot end off, and we'll check our connections. I'm excited. I'm so glad that you guys are on board for participating and or watching a droid build. That's so cool. And then these top ones, I need my gold tool. There you are. Okay, let's move you aside. We have a hot end here. Here, let's get the camera down on the hot end here. And let's cut to this guy, and here we go. Okay, so here's the hot end. So now this right here, for those of you that haven't seen it, that is the poke probe right here, part that's attached to the top of this hot end. So if I lift this out carefully, I don't want to undo any of these zips if I don't have to. So right there, this plastic portion here, this is the poke probe. These screws that are right in here, a little set screw there. These two front set screws here are what are holding the wires onto the bottom set screw. And then there's a set screw on top underneath the actual Dragon hot end But this is the actual set screw that you would use to adjust the sensitivity of the poke probe right there. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and check our connections on our heaters and our thermistors. So just to be sure. So here we go. This is the, oh, I need the smaller, I need my smaller wrench, even smaller hex key. So we'll pop this right out. So here's the thermistor right there. There's a thermistor wire. And right here, there we go. There's the heater cartridge. Okay. So heater cartridge in. We kind of center it in there. Okay. The heater cartridge is set in there. Good. Oh, one moved a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of make sure the heater cartridge is nice and centered. Like so. Okay, and then the thermistor, which is a PT1000 thermistor, is in. And that is snug. That is in there. So the thermistor and heater cartridge are in there fine. We will put this back in, down and up with the PTFE, and like so. Our thermistor wire, there's the thermistor on it. Just so you can see right there. It is an RTD PT1000 thermistor. Okay. That was purchased brand new. So that is a brand new thermistor. Everything else is as it should be on this hot end. So it's got to be something in the config file that's throwing that error, because everything in here is working as expected. So, but it's very compact. And while we have this apart, so speaking of probes, so if I just do this normally, of course, this poke probe would be replaced with another piece that's going to hold my Dragon hot end, or I could actually even put a Revo hot end. I have a Revo I could put on here. The only reason I'm using the Dragon on this right now is because this poke probe is only compatible with the Dragon hot end at this moment. That's all of that. That is all the person who designed this has designed it for just a Dragon. He says that the we don't know when. So that's why I have the Dragon hot end on here right now. Now I don't know if there's anywhere if I could design something that's going to come off perhaps this portion here, that I could mount a beacon probe to or something, but there's not very much room in here to add that kind of a secondary probe, because this is a very tiny and compact hot end, right? So, you know, the poke probe seems to be working now, of course, because I said it wasn't. It is working now. It seems to be working now, but now we have obviously this thermistor issue. So let's go ahead and put it back on the printer and see. We know that everything's fine here. I'll check the other end of the, actually what I should do is check the wires on the thermistor in here as well. But from what I'm pretty sure I'm making decent connection on these wires. Because as I say, I can heat up the hot end. I did the PID tuning. Everything went extremely well with no errors. I can heat up the hot end without printing and just, tell it to heat up, and it stays at its temperature. It works well, but as soon as I try to print something, we have that error. So let's go ahead and put this back together. And we will give it another try. Give it one more try. I do not want to keep trying the same thing over and over and failing at it, because that is, in fact, the definition of insanity. And I will not let Barbie drive me insane. You know what, Marcel? Sergio? Sorry, I'm getting all you guys mixed up. You know what, Sergio? It is always best to double check. You are so correct. Marcel is on here as well. And your names are totally different, but hey, I try. I really do. Okay, so we're going to plug some stuff back in here. Last time I plugged the fans in incorrectly. I got to make sure I don't do that again. So this little white guy is a thermistor, and he is going to be this little guy is going to be the hot end thermistor. Like so. The fans, this is the fan, the double fan. These are my right and left part cooling fans. And you are this one, and you are this one. This would be, whoops, this would be my heater. Ah, good idea. Hey, Nuno. Okay, and then this is going to, that's a good idea, Kermit. This is going to be my hot end fan. This is going to be my extruder. I won't bother bundling all these together yet. Come on. There we go. And least but not last, we need to plug in the probe, which comes up onto this one. There we go. Okay. Let's power it up. Oh, well, let's plug it in first. That helps. Use the Revo PZ. I will look into that. There we go. Let's power that up. In the meantime, let me Google that, Nuno. Full PZ probe, Revo. Oh, that's tiny. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. That's a good idea. Multimeter on the thermistor and use the heater gun to soldering iron to see if the thermal resistance changes. You don't have to have a sock for the heat block. I do, but it's just not on there yet. But I do have a sock for it. I believe I do. I should have one around somewhere. Okay, let's get this running. Okay, we're booted up again here. So let's do Kermit's first thing. Okay, first of all, let's see what my maximum temperature is set for this hot end. Let's see what I've got for maximum temp. Extruder, maximum 250. Let's bring that up to 260, and then let's heat it up to 250. Let's see what we can do. It's not the bed, so I'm not going to worry about the bed right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and heat it up to 250. Okay, there we go. Perfect. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, yeah, if it came with a sock, it'll be in the box somewhere, wherever I put the box for that particular hot end. I got a bunch of parts lying around here. And I just need to track it down. I could open a little store for all the parts I have. You just replace the heat bed and the heat bed controller on an X1C Bamboo Labs. Need to make a couple changes on the wiki. Oh, wow. Did it fail on you? Is that why you had to do that? That would be that'd be a task. Wow. I was reading, not that I follow the group too much, but I do get, I do read once in a while the Bamboo Facebook group, and apparently on the, I think it's on the X1s and the P1s and the P1Ps, there's a little gear, a tooth gear in the back that's not user changeable, that it's kind of built into the frame, and if that gear fails, you're screwed. Apparently, you have to send your machine back to get it fixed or replaced. Apparently, I don't know. Okay, we're up to 230. No errors thrown so far. Okay, here we go. You guys can see the temperature climbing there. 240. See, and now our percentage is dropping because we're approaching our temperature. Again, I've PID tuned this already. 247. So the thermistor is doing what it's supposed to be doing right now. 249, and we are creeping up to 250. And yeah, I'm not going to actually, well, yes, the hot end is hot. There we are, and it settled in at 250. Yeah, one of the idlers in the back corner, Nuno, yeah. Can you imagine? That'd be so infuriating. So we are settling in at 250. So the thermistor is doing what it's supposed to be doing. The hot end is heating up, and look at that. We're just rocking it right here. 250 plus or minus 0.2, if that. It's not even going above 250. Yeah, 0.1. So the PID tuning has obviously worked because we're staying within 0.1 or 0.2 degrees of 250. The bed, I'm not worried about. That wasn't the issue. So we know the heater is working properly and the thermistor is working properly. Give it a wiggle. Okay, I'm going to wiggle some wires here. I'm wiggling. I'm going to move the hot end around a little bit. Oh. Okay. Did you see that? As soon as I touch the hot end. So what is doing that? Let's restart. Okay. Let's go ahead and heat that up again. Actually, it doesn't have to be 250 now. Let's go to 220. Let's go to 220. You can see me in the small screen up top here. Moving the wires around is not doing anything. Yeah, okay. Look at those as I wiggle the wires. Watch the current temperature. 220, 230, 251, 400. Okay, so there's something. And then if I wiggle the hot end. Yeah, okay, see that? If I move these wires around, the thermistor is reporting false temperatures all the way up to 400. Okay, so let's cool this down now. Okay. Temperature, oh yeah, no, the temperature jumped to something. I saw it hit 400 at one point there. Yeah, Clipper is doing its job. Well, the current temperature, it's not overheating the hot end, it's reporting an incorrect temperature. No, I think the thermistor's okay. It's when I wiggle the wires. I think I'm going to check my thermistor wires. I'm going to double check my thermistor wires, which is right here. Maybe I need to shorten this wire. It's way too long. I'm going to double check the thermistor connection. Because I had to actually make this wire on the bottom. Maybe I incorrectly crimped that wire. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the chart of the reported temperatures right there, how it spiked as I was wiggling the wires. That's when I was wiggling the wires. So something is loose. Loosey. Okay, well, now that we know that that's a possible issue, I'll let this cool down and I will unplug my thermistor wire. I will check the connections at both ends. I'll actually shorten this while I'm at it. I'll rewire the plug to the board and we'll try it again and see if maybe there's a loose wire in there when I made this wire. Or it's getting noise from something nearby. But wiggling the wire tells me that it's, yeah, either a bad thermistor, which my guy will warrant that. If it's a bad thermistor, then he'll give me a new one. Okay, well, Barbie, there may be hope for you yet. Yes, well done, Kermit. Yeah, and that's what ballistic. That's what I'm going to do because I actually made this connection myself here, so I'm going to make sure that I didn't screw that up. The connection up above here is actually the connection that came with the thermistor, but I'm going to check that one as well to be sure that this connection is connecting properly. So we're just going to let this cool down a bit before I shut it off. Although we should be okay now, not like we're going to get any heat creep with 80 degrees, but it's cooling down rather quick. So okay, I'm just going to shut this down. There we go. Okay. There's the thermistor wire. Let me remember which one I plugged it in right there. And here we go. Okay. Let's move you over a bit. Yeah, it almost looks like, yeah, we're going to remake that plug. This end should be fine. This end came from the manufacturer. And this end does look perfectly fine. And then where it plugs in, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine here. This is nice and solid. Let me shorten this connector here, and then let me remake it. And all I need are my, where did I put those? Where have I hidden those? Right here. Wiggle. What are you? 2, and you are this one. Is that the right? No, that's 3. 2. Oh, you're too small. I need the bigger ones. These ones. Yes. 2. There we go. Okay, so we're going to remake this. So we only need this to be about this long at the most. We'll give a little extra here. Okay. And we'll just quickly make a new cable. Depending on which one you get, the S1, it's a diode 40 watt. You're looking, for the S1, you're looking around US, I'm not sure US, Canadian, you're looking around 28 Canadian with a 40 watt head on it. And boy, does it engrave nicely. And then they have an F1, and I think the F1, oh yeah, the F1 I believe is a fiber laser. But you can do some pretty good stuff with a 40 watt diode. Early when Barbie was heating, you thought she was gassy because she was too far. Sometimes things look different from a couple thousand miles away. That is so true, Kermit. Okay, we'll cut that. Cut that. Let's go ahead and get these little pins that I just love working with, you know, because they're so nice and tiny. And get you in there. Make sure these things are crimping good. That connection looks great. Okay. Love to show you a close-up view of this, but I don't know if the camera is going to focus that close. Come on. There's the pin in there. Then we take the wire. There's lots of videos out there of how to do these kind of connectors. Then we put you in there. You only need about that much wire exposed on it too. You don't need much. Trick is making sure it's put in here far enough. You can feel it, and then crimp it closed, and then basically you want to make sure that you got the wire pinched down where the wire holder pincher thinger goes, and then you want to make sure that you have your bare wire in under where the bare wire is supposed to be, which it is. Okay, then listen to me. Doesn't matter polarity on a thermistor, so then we're just going to pop this in. Let's turn it around. There's a little bit of a ledge thing there that goes in, and you'll hear it click in. Nice little, come on. Come on. Why are you not going in? Let's try you. That one clicked in. And must have, oh, that one, there we go. I had to push it. Those are clicked in. So you can kind of see, or you can or can't, that though you can see the silver of the connectors that are in there. And so when I plug that into the board, that should make a decent connection. Okay, anyways. So let's go ahead and plug this back into the board. I know this is good, and I know it's fine. Okay, those wires are in there nice. Plug you back into where you go. Okay. We've shortened you a little bit, which is okay. And plug you back on. Let's power you back on. Let's see if we have an issue now when we do wiggle the wires. And we'll just toss this little piece. Oh, thank you, Ballistic. Yeah, it's a good camera. It's a Sony A1000 or Sony A5100. It's a great little close-up camera. Great little close-up. And the color is accurate. Quite accurate, actually, on it. Used to be my main camera, but I think I like it better as a close-up camera. These little cameras are pretty good for the main cameras. Those little you know, like I'm supposed to know what they are. They are what are those little cameras called again? I always forget the name of these little cameras for some reason. Insta360 links. That's what this is here, is an Insta360 link. Okay. We are booted again. Let's go ahead and heat her up to 220 again. Okay. And let's wiggle some wires. We're going to wiggle the hot end. Actually, I'm just going to wiggle the thermistor wire. You can see I'm wiggling it. I shouldn't be wiggling this hard to Barbie. I'm wiggling. Now let's wiggle all the wires. Okay, nothing. So if I wiggle the thermistor wire, I think it was loose at that end. I think it was that plug that I just fixed. Because now we wiggle her wires, and you'll see that current temperature is reading perfectly. Why are you so loose on this anyways? I have to fix you. I think you got a screw loose on your hot end, Barbie. But that's a whole other story, because your hot end shouldn't wiggle like that. No, I have old Logitech cameras, Big and Bad Joe. There we go. All I was doing right there, verify heater section. Not heating is, okay, so let me restart this. All I was doing there was tapping on the top of the hot end. I'm going to try that again. So we have a couple issues here. 220. Let's wiggle. Let's let this get up to 220, and I'm going to wiggle as I climb. Nope. Something going, it might be a bad thermistor then. See the verify heater section. Not heating as expected rate. Yeah. Okay. Not that I mean to beat a dead horse here, but I want to see. We're going to get that up to 220. We're watching the current temperature is what we're looking at. I'm touching the thermistor wire. Okay, at the board. I'm wiggling it at the board. Okay, let me try the heater wire. Heater wire is okay. Thermistor. Yeah, right there. You see that jump? Yeah, the thermistor. So, okay. So, what I was doing, where I was wiggling, I'll show you now. It's either the thermistor or the connector here. So, where I was wiggling specifically when that happened, this is the thermistor wire right here, you can see, and where I was wiggling, what I was doing is I was just sort of going like this, back and forth with this one here, when it threw that error. So either the connection in here in this plug is bad, or the thermistor itself is bad. Do I have another thermistor? I don't think I have another one on hand, but you never know. Let me check over here real quick. If I do have one, I can only assume it would be a PT1000, but I can't guarantee that it would be a PT1000. Here we go. Oh no, that's a heater. That's a heater. That's not a thermistor. Hang on. What's this here? That's not a thermistor. I have a heater. And do I have another thermistor? Wow, you'd think with all the spare parts and crap that I have in this studio that I have a thermistor, wouldn't you? There's a whole bunch of hot ends here. And one more drawer to check. What's this? What's this? Is that a oh, it's not a thermistor. Dang, it's a thermistor extension cable. No. I'm going to have to get another thermistor from my buddy. That's definitely the issue, is a thermistor then. Can I see if the metal crimp in the microfit connector is poking out at all when plugged together? Or the builder. Thanks, Mark. I don't think I have a screw loose, but there is a screw loose on the hot end, but it's nothing to do with the thermistor. It's the mount to the rail. So I'm going to shut this down once more. We're coming close to our time anyways, but so shut her down, unplug her, disconnect the thermistor. It's not the extension wire to the board. That's fine, unless I'm pretty sure this is it. So it could be the thermistor connector here. Now I can always pop this apart again and just double check the wires, but I think my best bet is to grab another thermistor and see if I can't make it work with a new thermistor. Thermistors are cheap, fortunately. Fortunately, they don't cost an arm and a leg. There we go. It's a microfit knockoff. That when I plugged it in, the crimp kind of slid out a bit. Yes, that could happen. Definitely. So let's have a real quick peek at this. We'll pull the thermistor right out and have a look at it real close. I'm not even against rewiring the thermistor wires and making it a solid connection right through to the main board, so it doesn't unplug, so that leaves one less point of failure. Let's pop this off real quick here. Okay. And while I'm here, this little guy right here is a bit loose. Oh yeah, you've come loose. You've wiggled loose a little bit from all Barbie's wiggling and all that. Okay. That's not good. You need to be tight. Come on. Oh, much snugger. Okay. So let's pop the thermistor out of here. We're going to have to cut this little zip tie. We're going to have to cut this little zip tie holding the thermistor wire in place. Right in there. And thermistor's going to slide out nicely. So here's our thermistor. This end looks fine on the thermistor here. It might be, it could be in here or it could be on the other end for sure. You can come and say your thing. Absolutely. We got a special guest visiting us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't make many appearances, but he's making a great appearance now. So I'm going to put him on the camera right. Hang on. Actually, I'm going to put you on this camera. Whoops. Right there. Look at that. Who's this? Look how big he's getting.
Wait, why wherever I touch it's the opposite?
Well, because it's not the opposite. It's because people, you know.
See, I'm holding it here and it's going there.
Yeah, you're holding it with your right hand, but
I don't understand the mirror.
But that's your right hand, right? Put it on your right cheek. Now that is your right cheek on the camera.
What? How does this make any?
You got to hit it. If you hit it harder, it'll work better.
Ah. That works even worse. The camera's so slow.
Say your thing.
Hit that like button and subscribe. Bye.
Okay, thank you. I'll see you in a minute. Hit it harder, it'll work better. There we go. There we go. It's not a mirror. No, it's not a mirror. A mirror would make you even more confused, because in a mirror, your right hand becomes your left hand. Okay. Pro Streamer. Yes. Test it with an ohm meter and jiggle it. And jiggle. So, okay, let me first pull this back plug out. I want to make sure that this back plug, again, this one that came with it connects into this one. I think it's making a good connection, but we don't know. So I am going to, this plug is fine. I'm going to replug this. It doesn't matter. I have lots of them. We're going to cut that plug off. Now, if I use an ohm meter, let's just bear a little bit of this wire here. Better if I use actual wire strippers than my fingernails. And this one. Now, where's my meter? Here's my meter. Okay. Let's go to my ohms, which would be right here. I believe that's ohms. Is it not? The little thing that looks like a delta or a beta symbol or a theta. I've never actually tested one of these things before. Let's see. Is that right? I think that's right. So omega. Yes, that's what it is. Omega. Thank you. That's the. Does that mean it's ohm like omega? So how exactly does one of these ohm things work? If I hold it up at the top of the probe and I click on, if I hold it at one of the other ends, actually, or would I hold it at both? Would I hold both together? Three point one, 3.2, 3.3. Oh, they're falling apart. Ohm mega. See, this doesn't see, this is going all over the place. I don't know if I'm actually, I honestly don't know how to check ohms on a connection like this. One lead on each wire. Oh, I guess at this end, one lead on each wire. And it's giving me a reading of 1.111 ohms. 1.11 ohms, 1.09, staying pretty steady. So now I have to actually somehow hold these on both leads like that and then wiggle. Oops. See, it's hard to do. I need clips. That's what I need is some clips on the end of these so I need a meter that has the alligator clip so I can actually clip onto the wire. But I think if I do this and I do that, there we go. Then if I wiggle, okay, it does. So so I'm holding this, if I hold this steady like this, okay, here, hang on. Let's see if I can get this on the camera. You can, yeah, you can kind of see the ohms. Hang on. Let's prop this up. Oh, hang on. I should be able to just stand this up. Maybe. And you guys can tell me. You guys know about. Okay, you can kind of see it there in the angle. That when I'm holding these two wires steady without wiggling the plug end of the wire here, I'm steady at 1 point something ohms, right? Okay, 1094. Now, if I grab the plug of the thermistor where it connects and start wiggling it, I'm all over the place. I'm getting overload. And hang on, where's the plug again there? If I start moving the wires around on this, oh, now it's not. No, it's not. It was. Definitely bad if it's moving at all. Yeah, okay. So now, yeah, because you can see that it's actually, as I move the wires around a little bit, it does fluctuate. If I drop the wires, oops. If I drop the wires and don't move anything, I'm staying steady. I can move my other hand, 1088, 1088. I can move this hand around. It doesn't move. As soon as I pick up this wire right here where the connection is, it's when it starts moving around. Okay. Yes, ballistic tech. I need to do that. So that may be the issue then, because yeah, I get a steady reading when I hold the wires. As soon as I pick this up, it starts fluctuating. So it could be. What I will do as another test is I will, let me turn this off. You ever forget to turn your meter off and next thing you go to use it and your battery's dead? And I just dropped a little screw. That's okay, I have lots of them. What I will do to try is I will not now because I am unfortunately out of time, but I will, I'm going to cut this connection here and I'm actually going to wire it direct. I will actually wire it direct and we'll just solder that and wire it direct to the board and see. It could very well be the connection in one of these two plugs. Yeah. So, yeah, who knows, right? Yeah. Because this really is this is a no-name thermistor, RTD. So, you know, probably one of those mass-produced. And who knows if the wires are crimped good in here or not. And same in this end if the wires are crimped good. So if we do it ourselves, we know that they're done well. There we go. Let's put our tools away. Always remember to put your tools away. And our fabulous board over here that we made. That's another whole topic. Okay, well, you use a fluke meter, more expensive, but in my field you need it. Yeah, well, no doubt. You can get these meters are, this one here, I don't remember what it costs. It's a decent meter. I think it was like $30 or something, but I've seen these things upwards of several $100s for these meters. But if, you know, if it's a professional thing and you're doing it for a living, you need that. So, okay. I want to thank everybody that stuck around. Don't recommend soldering thermistor wires. Oh, but you've definitely seen folks do it. Oh, you have a fluke too. I've never heard of that actual brand. Let me just Google it real quick. Fluke meter. Oh, okay. They're yellow. Holy crap, they're expensive. Oh, look. Like you can get them any 176, 245, 564, $1,000, $345. Wow. I know what to ask for Christmas this year. Cadillac meters. Yeah. I wonder if they ever go on sale. You never know. Okay, guys, thank you so much, everybody. You got a knockoff fluke. People are more likely to trust you if you see a fluke on your toolbox. I just turned into an advertisement. Barbie, do you want a fluke? Is that what's wrong with you? Do you need me to get you a fluke? Okay, folks, I'm going to call it a night. We're 7:04. Redfish is also good. Polymaker. Oh, Polymaker. Yes. Oh, Andrew, thank you. Let's do a Polymaker draw. We have a lot of people still stuck around. Thank you, Andrew. I keep forgetting. I've been so focused on things. We're going to do a Polymaker draw. Let me set that up. Oh man, I'm glad you guys are here to remind me of stuff. I swear it's my old mind that's forgetful. Let's just go ahead and open the giveaway tool. Dum da da da. Because I did promise every stream that we're going to give away a roll of Polymaker filament. We're going to go hashtag Polymaker. And we're going to start collecting comments. So right here, guys, right there. Put hashtag Polymaker in there for your chance to win a roll of Polymaker filament, guys. Go for it. We're going to keep this open for the next 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And what is the date today? Today is September the 22nd. And who is going to be the lucky winner today? If you have won within the last 6 weeks, you will not qualify. So there is only going to be 1, 2, 3 people that won't qualify. But hey, what are the chances, right? What are the chances? First day of fall. Today it is. Oh, that's right. First day of fall. Although the temperatures haven't dropped like they typically would in Calgary on the first day of fall. So go ahead. Let's win some Polymaker. Let's give away some Polymaker filament, guys. I have had a chance to try so far of the new colors. I've tried the Lotus Pink in the Panic Panchroma, and I've tried the Translucent Gray, and those are nice. The Translucent Gray is what I printed these inserts for the bamboo, silica gel inserts for the AMS on the bamboo. And they look superb, and that filament prints beautifully. It prints just as good as any PLA I've ever printed. Has anyone ever tried Decent Filaments ASA? I have not heard of that brand. You want the Fiberon line in Canada? Yeah, no kidding, Marcel. It's pretty good stuff. I've done a few jobs on it. I've yet to try the PETG RCF08. I have printed so far with the PPS CF10. That's a 10% carbon fiber. It's worked well. And the PET CF17. They both print extremely well. And I printed actually the actual parts I printed with them. Actually, I can show you them. The actual parts I printed with them are kind of working the way they should, and they're very strong. This guy here, this is a tool that I reproduced and made. And this one here is printed out of the Fiberon, as well as the back pieces. I have actually got some silicone or some of this slidey stuff tape on it. I forget what it's called, but the black pieces underneath are all printed out of that Fiberon. And this one had to be, because that had to be flexible enough and strong enough so that it didn't bend, because a knife actually runs down the length of this thing here. So yeah, so this worked out pretty good. This is a little tool for cutting, for edging films on windows and so forth. So you put your distance from where you want it, and you say tighten it like this, and you tighten that down, and then of course you run that along. You put your knife in that slot, you run that down the edge of the window, gives you a perfectly straight cut along your window. And this is all 3D printed, of course, except for the screws and the bearings. So nice little project that worked out well. And this is the high flow PETG from Bamboo, and all the black is the Fiberon from Polymaker. And we're making another version of that tool as well. So okay, I'm so into edging. Good one, Ballador. It would make a nice droid, wouldn't it, Brent? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I just don't know if I have enough of it. These Fiberon rolls are 500 grams, and I've only got the three different kinds at 500 grams. I have lots of Panchroma. I will definitely do the droids out of Panchroma, but maybe some of the parts can be made out of Fiberon. So we'll see. We will see. Okay, that's good, off axis. We'll keep that in mind. I appreciate that. Okay, we have 20 entries. We're going to do the draw now. And good luck to everybody in the draw. And we're going to draw in 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Let's see who's going to win a roll of filament. Courtesy of Polymaker. Tonight's winner is off axis. Look at that. You just did. Off axis, do you want me to redraw? Are you serious about that? See, on the night you say redraw, you redraw. Just let me know, and I will redraw if you'd like me to do that. Yes, I know. You can take it off axis. Just let me know. Marcel, it's up to you. Okay, sounds good. So thank you so much, Marcel. That's very nice of you. Marcel says to redraw, so we're going to redraw. So whoever wins, you're going to have to thank Marcel for it. So here we go. Let's go again. Collie, are you still in chat? Collie. Are you there, Collie? Okay, congratulations, Collie. I am going to give you an email address here. Tell Marcel thank you. And Marcel is in Canada, so that's why he, that's why he asked to redraw. I'm going to give you an email address here, DWIT, 3D Canada at what's my email? gmail.com. So Collie, go ahead and pop me an email. All I need is your email address, Collie, and then I will send you a link and a code to claim your free roll of Polymaker filament. So congratulations to Collie, and Marcel, thank you so much for making that happen for Collie. That's great. The giveaway was worldwide. Now the rules are for US and Canada. US and Canada is a pretty straightforward, me sending you a link with a code. International, it's a little bit different. And if anybody ever wins internationally, then they will be given further instructions after the fact. So yeah, Joel's a great community manager. Yeah, it's supposed to be available in Canada pretty soon. So I was fortunate that they were able to send me samples of or rolls of a lot of their other stuff. So Balador is from Ecuador. Wow, awesome. Yeah. Okay, so congratulations, Collie. That's great. That's awesome. So, and thank you, Andrew, for reminding me about that. You should win one of these next few for just for being my constant reminder and the comedic relief on the channel. So, which you always are. So, yes. I have printed with, yes, I have printed with it. I just showed that piece. Yeah. Oh, you're probably asking somebody else. Yeah. Okay, guys, listen, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that's here. I appreciate y'all sticking around. And congratulations again. Come back next Sunday. We will be live next Sunday. Last week was just a little hiccup in the thing. I wasn't feeling so good, and we had a lot on the go. Oh, that's okay if you missed it, Marcel. But if you want to see real quick here, yeah, this piece here I'm going to show you now was printed in the PET CF17. This piece here, it's a tool that I reproduced, and this is printed in the PF. All the black on this was printed in that product. I'm sorry, maybe not the knobs. I think it was just the slider and the other black pieces here, and then the support black piece on the bottom here were all printed in that. But I'm going to be doing some more. Perhaps some of the DWIT series will use some of this fiber on as well. So yeah, but it printed beautifully. I mean, this was done on the bamboo P1P right behind me here, and there's the bottom layer, and it printed beautifully. I mean, this stuff, it's really nice stuff. It's got some good flex, good strength to it. So yeah, it worked extremely well. And I've used a couple of the Panchroma colors already so far, but we're going to be doing more and more of those. So 3D printed extrusion frames for 3D printers. Yeah, why not? So, okay, folks, thank you everybody for sticking around. I appreciate it. I will be back next Sunday. We're going to see if we can figure out the thermistor issue with this thing now that, of course, it went through the whole leveling process without a hiccup this time. So who knows? We'll get this all figured out. We'll start a DWIT series soon. We're going to do some looking into it this week. We'll talk about it a little bit more next week, and we'll maybe plan to start up mid-October or something, and we'll make it maybe a winter project, right? So we need something nice like that to keep us warm through the winter. So thank you very much, everybody. I wish everybody a wonderful week, and we will catch you guys all next week. Stay happy, and thank you for being here. I always appreciate you guys so much. Bye for now.